take that drink out of your mouth, Jojo Sutherland,
Sorry.
and announce yourself. Turn up, be present. Come on.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, darling. You're looking fabulous.
Oh, you're too kind. Too kind. Too kind. Having my eyes done this year.
What do you mean having your eyes done?
I'm having the fat removed from my eye bags.
Are you
this year.
actually serious?
Yes.
Why would you do that?
Well, because I want a smoother look, and it's available on Klarna.
Why can't you grow old gracefully?
I don't want to.
Okay.
I've seen the future.
Staring right back at you. Ooh, meow.
Would you have anything done?
I always said I wouldn't ever have anything done, but the more that the crinkles and wrinkles appear, and especially the chicken, the gobbledygook neck, I don't know what that is, but yeah. But then I think I've seen women that have had it done and then it looks ridiculous and you look like you've had work done. So the answer is no.
It depends on who you go for the work. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah. You know.
I'd like a few, I don't know though. Do you know when you kind of do that thing when you're standing in front of the mirror and you pull your face back, you go, God, I do look nice when my skin's all smoothed out.
I've never done that.
You've never done
have
that?
time, no.
Oh,
There's
okay.
too much going on. I've complaints back up. I've got the dog on the phone going, no, you can't talk to him.
Have
Leave
you
him
even
alone.
said hello and said what we're doing? Be honest. Hi, it's Be Honest with Jojo.
I think people
again.
that, if you've not been foolish enough to listen to the ones previous, like,
Yeah.
my name's Bruce Devlin, her name is Jojo Sutherland, we're both comedians, we're both tired of society not being honest, and this is a platform for nothing but unadulterated honesty.
100%. And actually, I don't know why people do start podcasts with what the name of it is, because clearly whoever's gone on to the podcast and is now listening knows what they're listening to, unless they're complete bloody...
Have you been listening, since we started this endeavour, have you been listening to other people's podcasts?
I was before, yeah.
Or did you used to listen to podcasts?
yeah.
See, that's the thing. Even though allegedly I'm a comedian, I would never have gone to see comedy before I worked in the industry. I certainly don't watch anyone during my time in the industry.
We're very different in that respect. I love watching comedy. I love being immersed in it.
I just think it's so unfunny. It just seems really forced.
Well, I mean, some of it is unfunny, but some of it's great. You're missing out on a lot of good stuff.
Am I? Mm-hmm. Well, you know, I mean, that's your honest perception. That's my honest answer.
No, I was listening to podcasts before, but I think I've probably become more conscious and aware of other podcasts.
Heightened awareness.
Heightened awareness.
Now, you do have the CCL.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, the carefully collated list.
Which I keep forgetting that's what it stands
Yes, CCL. And also as well, please do get in touch. Are you happy to be called truth transmitters?
Yes.
Our little TTs
for.
that
Our
are
little
listening.
TTs.
Our little
I have to
TTs.
pronounce that.
You
Enunciate.
Do. You do.
TTs, but I prefer TTs.
Throw me a bone and poke me with a topic.
Live at the Apollo. I love...
In some ways, live at the appalling.
But this is the thing that infuriates me about programmes like Live at the Apollo, like any of these as live productions, where I've been to the recordings of them, right? And I have seen various people, not saying that they are bad comics, because there's people that I have loved, die on their hole in front of an audience, and then it goes out to transmission, and you would have thought that they'd taken the roof off and the applause breaks and all the rest of it. Why can't television programmes just be honest? Because I tell you what, I'd watch it if there was a chance that someone was going to muck up massively. It'd be way more entertaining. But if you know it's going to be trying to reach perfection and seeing everyone being brilliant at their job, you're just lying to your customers.
What I've never understood is why there hasn't been a focus on like proper live comedy, late night comedy, whether a late club at the Stand or a late and live at the Gilded Balloon. Because I think there would be a market for that, for people coming in after the pub watching it, as opposed to some... What I don't understand, and it's no offence to Jonathan Ross, because actually I do have a huge amount of fondness for Jonathan Ross. I remember watching Naomi Campbell on his show about 5-7 years ago, and I tweeted and said, oh, you know, I've loved you since I was a child. It must be like looking in a mirror for you, blah, 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 blah. And she followed me back, and I was just like, oh my God. But he hosts a comedy club show, and you're like, why?
Why?
Why? And
But
again,
also,
why?
And thrice quadruple why?
Yes.
But why?
Quad thrice.
Quad thrice. That must be some kind of venereal disease. So
I don't think it's me. I honestly don't think it's me. I would like that pointed out. But we'll move on.
No. So my point is exactly. So something like the comedy club. Why does everything have to be perfect? Because surely the whole point of comedy, particularly as a genre, is that that's the danger of it. You go into a comedy club and it's live. You don't know what to expect. And 9 times out of 10, it's when it goes slightly wrong or there is an interruption aka heckle, that's what gives it its life and its lifeblood, and it's what makes it so exciting. So why do people keep trying to take that art form and sanitize it to within an inch of its life and make it so bland and boring that I end up trying to slit my wrists because I'm watching it going, it's just not real.
I would just turn over, to be honest with you. And you do have to remember, and people listening and subscribing to this, although we want you to stay, you do have the option. No, I refuse to watch it. There's certain people I can't watch on television just because they make me physically sick, and I probably wish harm on them. But
guess who don't sue? Oh, I love that catchphrase.
But it's the case that I wouldn't watch anything. You know, I don't enjoy eggs. I didn't come with you the last time that you had one. I steer away from that. So I think you need to de-stress and change the channel. No,
I agree. I do agree, and it should turn off. But I'm trying to change the way that things are presented. I think it's this disingenuous, DG. I think it's the disingenuous and this kind of pretending to be something you're not, and putting this facade. It's like with don't you dare COVID creep me out, right? Shut up, get your finger off the button. During COVID restrictions, but you know, when the Graham Norton or Jonathan Ross or any of these places or any of these game shows or any of these quizzes, they were all socially distanced and standing, you know, tipping point, all these things, all socially distanced, all not touching each other, all kind of doing the right by the rules. And you know for a fact they were all backstage in a green room hugging each other. What is this sense of blatant lying? Does my head in.
The words socially distanced reminds me of people on Instagram who forgot they weren't allowed to travel into another area and do whatever. And like, but it was all socially distanced. Now, not naming names, but someone that lives in Glasgow that is, they have a position within the NHS. They knew Nicola said you can't travel cross country and all this, but then was through in Edinburgh taking photos.
Yeah.
Of what?
But you saw all those photos of these physically distant, socially distant. Oh, we're just having a coffee. I know every single last one of them was taking the photograph under the rules. And then as soon as the camera was away, big hugs and all. I mean, what is wrong with people? Why can't you just say, well, I gave my friend a hug. Why wouldn't you? I hugged everybody.
Did you?
Yeah.
No, I didn't hug anyone.
But you never hug anybody anyway.
No, it's not nice. It's really not nice. I dread events where people are like, oh, come on, big man. You're like, I've lost 3 pounds this week. Do one. Don't big man me. You know, and it's Ms. No, I honestly hate that, right? When you do, can we get a photo of you? Can you do this? Can you do that? And it's just like, go away. Like, seriously, your night is not going to dissolve. I'm here to host the thing. You don't need a photo of me. I don't need to speak to you. And I can smell your breath. You know, that's a big thing as well. Take your halitosis and do one.
I'll stop snogging the audiences.
Well, I don't. Some of the faces in a lot of corporates I do have faces that could stop trains.
But you know what I mean. I know what you're saying. Just turn over if you don't like it. But I want to. Yes, I want to be able to. Yeah. I want to watch Live at the Apollo and see someone die in their arse. What's wrong with that?
Because you're never going to. So you're setting yourself up for fail. That's just the exercise of futility. If you want to see someone die in their arse, go and watch some live comedy somewhere.
But that's when it's more fun. That's why Red Raw at the Stand's so busy on a Monday night, is because it's the chance that there will be an absolute car crash, and we all love a car crash.
But the funny thing is, I think that nowadays the audiences are so well aware of the fact that these are beginners or people trying out new stuff, so they're a bit more supportive. And perhaps if a lot of these people had a little bit of a smack a bumby early on, they wouldn't be as precocious and conceited.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, when they come in and they're like giving it, I'm basically Stephen Fry for a new generation. I've just written a screenplay, and you're like, you're the open spot, sit down and shut up.
One of my favourite open spot stories is Glasgow Stand, and this act was very new, and they sat in the audience for the first few acts, and the first few acts had done very well, and there'd been, you know, enough laughter and all the rest of it. And then they'd gone on stage, and I mean, not a single laugh, died in their arse spectacularly, which I love a death. I really love a death, as long as it's not my own. And then they came off stage and said, oh, it's very different when you're up there. You can't hear the laughter when you're on the stage. That's because there was none.
But the thing is, so I exclusively MC, and the amount of people that are like, my God, that was awful. And you're like, what happened? Like, were you at a different gig? Oh, yeah. No, I couldn't hear anyone laughing. I don't know if they were, wait for it, I don't know if they were warmed up correctly. Bitch, please, just hang on and we'll have some words. But it is that thing that, I do better at that gig and I do better at that. And I'm like, yeah, because X is the MC and they're rubbish. So that's why you'll look better. You know, bring your A game and you'll do a lot better. But it's all this room's unplayable, that room's unplayable, this is unplayable. And it's like, the only constant in everything that you're telling me is you. And, you know, I'm not being anything other than honest. That isn't to slag people off. It just really, really annoys me. Take ownership of the fact that you've had a bad gig, because it's not above any of us.
No. And we're all capable of it. And that's the thing.
Some more than others.
Stop pretending. Stop pretending that you don't have. Yeah, stop blaming other people for your bad gigs.
Absolutely.
But also, that's where we get back to the fact that that's actually when it can be really fun. Sometimes people's really bad gigs are the best night out. Bloody love it.
Talking of gigs and live gigs, are you doing anything on the 13th of March?
Are you asking me if I'm doing it? Are you asking me for a date?
Yes, a kind of date, a conversational date.
A conversational date, would that be
an honesty hiatus?
Oh no, that hiatus means that we'll stop being honest. That's the wrong words you're using there.
Oh, you see, it's just a word salad to me, and there you've called me dyslexic and fat, so thank you for that. That's nice.
So welcome. I think we are meeting up on the 13th of March at the Glasgow stand during the Glasgow Comedy Festival.
Glasgow International Comedy Festival.
International Comedy Festival. We don't know what it's called anymore because I don't know what it's doing with itself.
Well, it's having a hiatus.
It's having a hiatus. It's having a hernia.
As long as it doesn't have halitosis. On that, subscribe and leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts so more people can find us and listen to this and learn.
Listen and learn.
And you know what? If you're having a bad day, think on this. Could be your fault. See ya.
Bye.